Hey mommies, how's it going? I am at Target. I had to get up at the crack of dawn this morning and go to a doctor's appointment. So I figured since I was out, I would stop by Target and get some essentials that I need for a baby girl. So I'm gonna be, grabbing some diapers, wipes, some toiletry type things, but this video is actually more so about my frustrations with all of these doctor's appointments I have to go to. My pregnancy is a high-risk pregnancy, even though I don't feel like I'm really high risk, but whatever. That's what the doctors tell me. But I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about my frustrations with being high risk, and I feel like I'm at the doctor literally every other day. But so that I can get out of this black hole called Target, I'm going to check back in with you guys in a little bit and hurry up so I can just grab some of these boxes of diapers and get out of here. Talk to you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So sorry for the break in the video. It took me way longer than I expected at Target. I was in there trying to get all the bang for my buck. I was couponing, and then they had different promotions, like if you buy certain things, you get gift cards. And if you buy a certain amount, you get gift cards. So I was trying to rack up on gift cards since I was buying things I needed anyways. But I came home and washed my hair, so that's why I have my t-shirt turban on. I'm trying to get New Year's ready, and I just have some oil and conditioner sitting on my hair, and then I'll twist it and everything. But please excuse my wrap. But I wanted to quickly pop back in and talk to you guys about the struggles that I've had as a high-risk pregnancy. So there are a few things that can put you in the category of having a high-risk pregnancy. For me, I am a diabetic. I have been diabetic since I was 18 years old. I found out I had diabetes. I thought I had the flu. And when I found out I was diabetic, my onset was I went into a diabetic coma, and my blood sugar had skyrocketed to 2,500. A lot of people die with like 800 as their blood sugar. So the doctors and everyone, my family, it was a miracle that I survived and did not wake up and remain in a vegetative state. So I am extremely grateful that I have that testimony. Unfortunately, even though I had a really traumatic and eye-opening onset of the disease, I still really didn't take care of myself the way I should have, between the years of 18 and probably up until about 3 years ago or so. So when I wanted to start to conceive, I went to talk to my obstetrician, and she told me that she needed to refer me to the perinatologist, or they're also called maternal fetal doctors. They specialize in folks who are considered high risk. So they will kind of consult with you before you get pregnant, and then once you get pregnant, they follow your care and specialize your care to whatever your particular issue is. So with being referred to that department, didn't have a very good initial appointment with them. They were looking at my chart, and without any knowledge of where I was that day when I was in the office, they made the decision to not let me start trying to conceive. And I had been working on my health. So after I got married, I was so in love with my husband, and I was, feeling like, okay, I want to spend the rest of my life with this man, and not just the rest of my life being 5 years. So I really took to heart my health and started taking care of myself, watching what I was eating, and I started working out. And so when they were looking at my chart, they were looking at my last hemoglobin A1C. The hemoglobin A1C, if you don't know a lot about diabetes, it's basically an average of your blood sugars over about a 3-month period or so. And so my last number that had been recorded was like around an 8. And they say that they don't want you to try to conceive or to get pregnant if your hemoglobin A1C is 6.5 or above. It can, be unhealthy. There's more risk for the baby. So being that it was at an 8, when they were looking at my chart, they were just automatically like, nope, you can't try. I really tried to convince them to take my blood draw that day because they would see a difference. I had been working out, and I just knew my numbers were going to be lower, and they were like, nope, we're going to wait until we're going to wait a couple of months and see how you progress, and then we'll check your blood. I was so frustrated, and I hate when I go somewhere or I'm talking to someone and you just feel like it doesn't matter what you're saying, they're not hearing you. It's so frustrating. But they ended up enrolling me in a program where I would have weekly calls with a nurse who specialized with diabetic patients. And so I would give her my blood sugars for over the week, for my fasting when I wake up in the morning, after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner. And the nurse would adjust medication or give suggestions on how to change my diet to make sure my numbers were lower so that my body was better prepared to conceive and carry a child. So the next day, the nurse calls me and is like, oh, I see the last time we checked your hemoglobin A1C was several months ago. We really need to know where you are as of today, to figure out, how to proceed with you in this program. And I'm like, I tried to tell the doctors that made sense. Like, let's figure out where I am as of today and see if it is safe for me to go ahead and try to conceive. So she was like, yeah, you can't even be in this program without us knowing where you're starting. So tomorrow, go to the lab, get your blood drawn, and then we'll go from there. So I did, and I got my test results back, and my hemoglobin A1C was now a 6.5. So the nurse calls me a few days later, and she's like, yeah, I saw your numbers, and your numbers are too low for you to qualify for this program right now. So check back with your doctors. You're doing a great job, and good luck. So I went back to the doctor, and they were like, oh, yeah, you're good to go. Go ahead and try. Okay, we could have figured that out last week, but whatever. Me and my husband, we started trying to conceive, and we started trying in July. of 2017, and we didn't actually conceive until almost a year later, May 2018. So once we did conceive, I immediately knew. I didn't know I was pregnant, but I knew something was off, and yeah, I'll have to tell that story in another episode. But when I realized that I was pregnant, we had the 2 pink lines on the test, and I called my OB, and she had me come in the office maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and she did a transvaginal ultrasound and confirmed I was pregnant. So she referred me back to the maternal field physicians to initiate my care throughout the pregnancy. And so when I go to my first appointment with the maternal fetal physicians, they also do an ultrasound, and the doctor was like, are you sure you're pregnant? What do you mean? Like, yeah, I'm pregnant. I took the test, and my OB confirmed it like 3 days ago. Yeah, I'm pregnant. She's like, well, maybe your time frame is off. When was your last cycle? Because I don't see anything. Or, maybe you miscarried. Like, she was so, like, just matter of fact, nonchalant, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I almost broke down right there in the clinic, because she was talking to me like I was crazy, and also talking to me as if, I possibly had a miscarriage. And like I expressed in my last video, I wanted to be a mom for so long. And so to know I was pregnant and then have the scare or the anxiety of possibly having a miscarriage, that sucked. Long story short, I ended up going and having the in-depth ultrasound, and they confirmed everything was fine. And I went on, that was my first trimester, and then as soon as my second trimester hit, that's when it got real. I also have fibroids, and so the week I started my second trimester, that's when like the extreme pain hit. I could barely walk at one point because of the pain I was in, and went to the doctor a couple days in a row trying to figure out what was going on, and so they attributed it to the fibroids. And they were saying the fibroids were inflamed, and that was causing the extra discomfort and pain that I was in. And then a couple weeks later, I had excessive vomiting, and I was literally vomiting like every 5 minutes and for a long period of time. And I also started contracting, and they weren't the normal Braxton Hicks. It was like clockwork every 3 minutes, and they were nervous that I was going into preterm labor. But they checked my cervix, everything looked fine, but they also admitted me to continue to observe me for a while. But basically the fibroids, they're used to getting all of your estrogen, and so my fibroids were having to share with the baby, and they were pouting and getting an attitude that they had to share. So they were kind of making my body go haywire, and causing that excessive pain and the vomiting and the contractions. So that, caused another issue. And so they wanted to do more monitoring. And when I couldn't stop myself from vomiting, it was making my blood pressure really high. So, of course, they tried to tell me I had hypertension, high blood pressure, and I was like, nope, I don't have it. Diabetes, yes, I have that, but I do not have high blood pressure. Anytime I go into the office, my blood pressure is always normal. As soon as I stopped vomiting, my blood pressure was completely normal. But because of that short period of time when I was vomiting, they now have me labeled as having hypertension. So even the other day when I went to the doctor, they, were talking about the different, stuff that I have that causes me to be high risk, and high blood pressure was on the list of things she said. And I was like, no, I don't have high blood pressure. I just had an instance or two instances where I couldn't stop vomiting and it was making my blood pressure high. So because at one point they were wanting me to take pills and take cuffs home to monitor, and I just was not trying to take on extra labels. And I'm not a doctor, clearly, and doctors are very smart and they mean well, but I also feel like I have to advocate for myself and trust my intuition and not allow someone with, just because they have a medical degree, diagnose me with something I don't have. But that has been a little battle in itself. It made me very emotional. The fact that they were trying to label me as having high blood pressure, just because growing up I always have struggled with, being sick. I got colds all the time. I, had to have my tonsils out really early. I had ear infections all the time. And, but being a diabetic at such a young age was really difficult. And, high blood pressure is not another notch that I wanted on my belt. But I have been doing a really great job with managing my blood sugar, and I actually have been able to get my hemoglobin A1C down to 5.5, and anything under 5.6 is considered normal range. So I'm really, really, really proud of myself that I have been able to, especially in pregnancy when my huge craving is like cake. I want lemon cake, carrot cake, red velvet cake, pie. Like I want all of those things, but I really have been doing a great job of trying to limit my intake of what I do indulge in every once in a while. I might take a couple of bites of something, but I also make sure, I'm staying on top of it as far as the medication that I take. And, when I was talking to you guys earlier, I was talking about all of these appointments I go to. I go every week to get monitored because I'm high risk. And so I have to go and get hooked up to the Doppler and the machine that tracks contractions. And I have been doing that for every week for the past couple of weeks. And then starting next week, I have to go twice a week. So it's been really frustrating with all of the appointments that I have, but my main objective and goal is to make sure that I deliver this girl to be healthy and whole. So I have been putting full forth effort into doing what I need to do for this little girl. And I just want to encourage you all with my so far success story. And, you know, please let me know if you also have had a high risk pregnancy. And, you know, please share what struggles you have had, because every day is a struggle for me as a high risk pregnant mom. And you know, some days I get really emotional, and some days I feel like I'm on top of the world and I'm invincible. But I know having other people who I can identify with has been able to help. And so if you are currently high risk, please let me know so that I can encourage you. And if you are currently trying to conceive and will be high risk, please reach out, let me know. And yeah, you know, we gotta stick together and encourage each other, because pregnancy for a normal, that's not the right word, but for someone who's not high risk, is hard. So for someone who is high risk, it's like 10 times harder. But you got this, I got this. And please like, comment, and subscribe to Mocha Mommyhood. And also share this video with anyone you think it would encourage or make smile or can identify. Please, please, please share the video. And like I said, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mocha Mommyhood. And my next video is going to be more traditional vlog, and it will be in a couple weeks on my last day of work. I will, you know, have you guys at my work baby shower, and hopefully introduce you to some of my cool co-workers who I know are going above and beyond for my baby shower. And yeah, so my videos will be out every other week for now. So the next video will be published on January 13th. So since I will not see you until after the new year, have a very, very happy new year. I pray that you have a prosperous and joyous new year. And yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.